The Galactic Council was in chaos. Representatives from different planets crowded around a large table, voices raised and tempers flaring. News of a rogue alien group attacking trade routes had spread like wildfire. Ships from various planets had been ambushed, goods stolen, and lives lost. The council had to act quickly, but no one seemed to agree on what to do. On one side of the table, the Zorathians, tall and proud beings with shimmering blue skin, argued passionately. "We must send a fleet to destroy the rogue faction," shouted their leader, a fierce woman named Jara. Her piercing eyes scanned the room, daring anyone to disagree. "Destroy them? What if we lose our ships?" replied a representative from the smaller planet of Tryon. He was nervous, his voice shaking. "We should negotiate. Maybe we can reason with them." A low murmur spread through the council chambers. Different species had different ideas, and the arguments only grew louder. Some wanted to fight, while others preferred peace talks. The council was stuck in a cycle of indecision, and time was running out. Meanwhile, on Earth, a group of human leaders watched the council's debate from their command center. They were connected through a holographic link, eyes glued to the chaotic scene. Among them was Captain Maya Grant, a determined young officer with a reputation for bravery. She felt a sense of urgency in her gut. The council's inaction was dangerous. "Maya, what do you think?" asked General Rivers, an older man with gray hair and a stern expression. "Should we intervene?" Maya nodded, her mind racing. "If we don't do something, more ships will be attacked and innocent lives will be lost. We have to take action before it's too late." General Rivers stroked his chin thoughtfully. "You're right. But what can we do? We don't have the resources of the council." Maya's eyes sparkled with determination. "We may not have their resources, but we have something they don't. Initiative. We can send a small team to gather intelligence on the rogue faction. If we know what we're dealing with, we can come up with a plan." As Maya spoke, the tension in the council chamber grew. Jara, still standing, slammed her fist on the table. "This is unacceptable." "We cannot wait for the council to decide. We must act now." "Calm down, Jara," said the council leader, a wise old alien named Eldar. "We must consider all options before jumping into war. We have treaties to uphold." But the words seemed to fall on deaf ears. Jara looked around the room, frustration etched on her face. "Treaties mean nothing if we are all dead. The rogue faction doesn't care about our treaties." Just then, a holographic image flickered to life above the table. It was a distress signal from a trade ship called the Starwind. The captain's voice crackled through the room, filled with panic. "This is Captain Thorn of the Starwind. We are under attack, requesting immediate assistance." The council members fell silent, the gravity of the situation hitting them hard. The image showed the ship surrounded by smaller rogue vessels. Blasts of energy lit up the dark space, and the captain's face was filled with fear. Jara looked at the council leader, her eyes fierce. "See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. If we don't act now, more ships will be destroyed." Eldar sighed deeply, his eyes narrowing. "We cannot rush into a decision, but perhaps it is time for us to consider alternative solutions." In that moment, Maya's team in the command center exchanged worried glances. They had been waiting for a chance to help, and now it seemed like time was slipping away. The humans had always been seen as the underdogs in the galaxy, often underestimated. But Maya felt a spark of hope. "If the council won't act, we will," she declared, her voice firm. "We'll gather our best people and find a way to help the Starwind. It's time for humanity to take a stand." As the council members continued to argue, Maya knew they had a choice to make. They could sit back and watch as chaos unfolded, or they could rise to the challenge. And she was determined to show the galaxy what humans were capable of. Captain Maya Grant sat in the command center, her heart pounding. The scene in the Galactic Council chamber echoed in her mind, the fear, the indecision, and the urgency. She looked around at her team, a group of skilled humans ready for action. Each of them had unique talents, and together they could make a difference. "Maya, we need a solid plan," said Sarah, a tech expert with sharp green eyes and a quick wit. "We can't just run into the rogue faction's base without knowing what we're up against." Maya nodded, appreciating Sarah's caution. "You're right. Let's gather intelligence first. We need to know their defenses and how many ships they have. I want to know everything we can before we make our move." Maya turned to the rest of her team, Jake, the weapons specialist, and Leo, the pilot known for his incredible flying skills. "Jake, can you hack into their communication systems?" We need to hear what they're planning. Leave it to me, Jake said confidently, cracking his knuckles. I'll get us the information we need. Leo, I want you to prep the ship for launch. We'll leave as soon as we have the intel, Maya added, her voice steady. Leo grinned.
You got it!
I'll make sure the Raven is ready to fly at a moment's notice. As the team split up to prepare, Maya felt a surge of determination. They were not just soldiers, they were humans willing to take a risk for others. It was time to show the galaxy what they could do. A few hours later, they gathered back in the command center, their faces illuminated by the glow of the screens. Jake had successfully hacked into the rogue faction's communication system. The air buzzed with anticipation as they listened to the encrypted messages. Got it! Jake exclaimed, a smile spreading across his face. I can decrypt their messages now. Here we go. The team leaned in, focusing on the screen. As the messages unfolded, they learned that the rogue faction was planning another attack on a convoy scheduled to travel through the Arcanus system. This convoy was crucial for trade among many planets, and if the rogue faction succeeded, it would be a major blow to the Galactic Council. Listen to this, Jake said, playing back a message from the rogue leader. We will strike at dawn. They will not expect us, and we will take everything. Maya's eyes narrowed. We need to act fast. If we can warn the convoy, we might save them. But we'll have to be quick. We can't let the council know what we're doing yet. Sarah looked concerned. But how do we get to the convoy in time? It's a long distance, and we need to avoid detection. Maya smiled, an idea forming. We'll use the Raven's stealth mode. Leo, you can pilot us close to the convoy without them seeing us. We'll intercept the rogue ships when they attack. This will be our chance to prove that humans can handle themselves. Leo's eyes sparkled with excitement. I love it. Let's show them what we can do. With the plan set, the team moved swiftly. They boarded the Raven, a sleek, agile ship that had seen its share of battles. Maya felt a rush of pride as she took her place in the pilot's seat, the controls familiar beneath her fingers. Prepare for launch, she called out. The engines roared to life and the ship shook with power. The team was ready to go. As they soared through space, Maya felt a mix of fear and excitement. They were entering unknown territory, and there was no turning back. But deep down, she knew this was what they were meant to do. Humans were often seen as the underdogs in the galaxy, but they had strength, resourcefulness, and determination. Hold on tight, Leo shouted as he navigated through the stars. The ship zipped through space, and Maya focused on the mission ahead. They were going to save the convoy and show the Galactic Council that humans could rise to any challenge. As they approached the Arcanus system, Maya checked their scanners. The convoy was on course, and the rogue ships were on the move. The tension in the cabin was palpable. They had to act quickly, or everything would be lost. Now's our chance! Maya yelled, her voice filled with adrenaline. Let's show them what humans can do. The Raven glided silently through the darkness of space, its stealth mode making it nearly invisible to enemy sensors. Captain Maya Grant felt the thrill of adrenaline coursing through her veins. This was the moment they had prepared for. Ahead of them lay the rogue faction's base, a massive structure surrounded by swirling asteroids. Maya turned to her team, who were focused and ready for action. Okay, everyone, we're almost there, she said, her voice steady. Once we reach the outer perimeter, we'll need to move quickly. Jake, are you ready to hack into their security system? Always, Jake replied with a confident grin. He was already working on his tablet, fingers flying over the screen. I'll disable their cameras and alarms. Just give me a signal when we're in position. Maya nodded. Leo, the pilot, was busy maneuvering the ship between the asteroids, skillfully avoiding detection. Stay sharp, Leo. We need to get as close as possible without alerting anyone. As they approached the base, Maya felt her heart race. The massive structure loomed ahead, illuminated by bright lights and surrounded by rogue ships. She could see the guards patrolling the perimeter, their armor glinting ominously. This was not going to be easy. All right, everyone, here we go, Maya said, taking a deep breath. Leo, bring us in low and slow. Leo expertly guided the Raven towards a hidden alcove behind an asteroid, positioning the ship so they could launch their mission without being spotted. The team gathered their gear, their faces determined. Jake, now! Maya commanded. Jake quickly began hacking into the rogue base's security system. His fingers danced over the screen as he bypassed firewalls and security protocols. I'm in! Disabling cameras now, he said, a glint of excitement in his eyes. Just a few more seconds. Maya checked the scanners, her nerves tingling. "We need to move now before they figure out what's happening." "Got it!" Jake exclaimed. "Cameras are down and the alarms are disabled. You're clear to go? Let's move!" Maya ordered as she led the team out of the ship. They slipped into the shadows, their hearts pounding with every step. As they crept closer to the main entrance, Maya scanned the area for guards. She spotted two aliens chatting nearby, their backs turned. With a quick nod, she motioned for her team to follow her lead. They crept behind a stack of crates, the cool metal pressing against their backs. "Now what?" whispered Sarah, glancing at Maya. "We'll take them out quietly," Maya replied. "Jake, you go left. Sarah, you take the right. I'll handle the one in the middle." The team nodded, their expressions serious. As they moved into position, Maya's heart raced. They had to be quick and silent. The fate of the convoy, and possibly the galaxy, depended on them. With a swift motion, Maya approached the closest guard. She tapped him on the shoulder, and as he turned, she delivered a quick blow, knocking him out before he could make a sound. Jake and Sarah followed suit, each taking down their targets efficiently. "Nice work," Maya whispered as they regrouped. They quickly searched the fallen guards for weapons and equipment, arming themselves with the rogue technology. "Let's get inside," Maya said, leading them to the entrance. The door was secured with a keypad. Jake stepped forward, his fingers flying across the screen. "Give me a moment," he said, concentrating. A moment later, there was a beep and the door slid open. "Good job, Jake," Maya praised. They slipped inside, finding themselves in a dimly lit hallway filled with strange machinery and flickering lights. The atmosphere felt tense, and Maya sensed they were close to the rogue leader's command center. They moved cautiously through the corridors, relying on their training and teamwork. Each step brought them closer to their goal, but they had to remain vigilant. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed through the hall. "Get ready! The convoy will be ours at dawn!" It was the rogue leader, a large alien with a booming voice. Maya's heart raced. "We need to find the weapon and shut down their plans before it's too late." They pressed on, determined to uncover the rogue faction's secrets and stop the impending attack on the convoy. With each passing moment, they felt the weight of responsibility. They weren't just fighting for themselves, they were fighting for the entire galaxy. "Let's move," Maya said, her eyes fierce with determination. "We're going to show them what humans can do." The tension in the air was thick as Captain Maya Grant and her team moved deeper into the rogue base. The walls were cold and metallic, reflecting the dim lights above. They could hear the distant sounds of machinery and voices, but they pressed on, determined to find the rogue leader and stop the attack on the convoy. "Stay close," Maya whispered, her eyes scanning the hallway for any signs of danger. Jake was at the front, his fingers ready to hack into any security system they might encounter. Sarah followed closely, her heart racing with excitement and fear. Leo, always alert, kept glancing back, ready to react if they were spotted. As they approached a large door at the end of the corridor, Maya could hear the rogue leader's voice more clearly. He was giving orders to his crew, speaking about the attack and how they would seize control of the convoy. "We have to get inside," Maya said, motioning for Jake to take the lead. "Can you get us in?" Jake nodded, already working on the keypad next to the door. "Just give me a second. I need to bypass their security." Maya watched as Jake concentrated, sweat beading on his forehead. The seconds felt like hours as they waited. Finally, with a soft beep, the door slid open. Maya pushed through, her heart pounding with anticipation. Inside, the rogue leader stood before a large holographic display, surrounded by several armed guards. He was a menacing figure, his eyes glinting with malice. "We will crush the convoy. They will not know what hit them," he bellowed. Maya's team quickly took cover behind a console, hearts racing. "We need to take them by surprise," she whispered. "Jake, disable their weapon systems. Sarah, get ready to take down the guards. Leo, you watch our backs." Jake nodded, fingers flying over his tablet again. "I'm on it!" As Jake hacked into the control panel, Maya felt the adrenaline surge through her. She could almost hear the clock ticking. They didn't have much time before the rogue leader's plan would go into action. "Now!" Maya commanded. Just as Jake disabled the guard's weapons, she sprang into action. She dashed forward, taking out the first guard with a swift kick. Sarah followed suit, using her agility to disarm another guard, while Leo took down the last one with a powerful punch. With the guards dispatched, Maya turned to face the rogue leader. He was visibly shaken, his bravado faltering. "You humans think you can stop me?" he sneered. "We don't just think, we do," Maya replied, stepping forward. "We're here to stop your attack on the convoy." The rogue leader laughed, a deep, menacing sound. "You're too late! My ships are already on their way." "Not if we can help it," Jake said, stepping up beside Maya. "We'll shut down your operations right now." With that, they moved to the main control panel, where Jake began typing furiously. The holographic display flickered, and Maya could see the layout of the rogue faction's ships, all set to launch. Come on, Jake urged, his face tense with concentration. Maya glanced at the rogue leader, who was regaining his composure. He lunged for a hidden weapon at his side. "You will regret this." In a split second, Leo tackled him, knocking the weapon away. "Not today," he shouted. Maya felt a rush of relief as Jake finally broke through the security. "Got it! I'm shutting down the launch sequence now." The control panel lit up with warnings, and alarms blared throughout the base. "They know we're here!" Sarah yelled, eyes wide. "We need to get out now!" Maya grabbed Jake's arm. "Let's go! We need to head back to the Raven." The team sprinted out of the command room, racing down the hallways as the alarms continued to sound. They could hear the chaos behind them as guards scrambled to respond to the alert. Maya's heart raced, but she pushed forward, determined to escape. "Left!" Leo shouted, leading the way. They turned a corner and skidded to a stop. A group of guards blocked their path, weapons drawn. "Go back!" one of the guards yelled. "You can't escape!" Maya's mind raced. "We'll have to fight our way through," she decided. On three, she instructed, taking a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. They charged forward, working together as a team. Jake ducked and dodged, disarming a guard with a swift move. Sarah used her agility to evade another, while Leo powered through, taking down anyone in their path. As they fought their way through the guards, Maya felt the surge of determination within her. They were humans, and they wouldn't back down. They wouldn't let fear control them. Finally, they reached the hangar where the Raven was docked. Maya's heart soared as they ran inside. "Get the ship ready for launch!" she yelled at Leo, who jumped into the pilot's seat. "On it!" Leo responded, his fingers flying over the controls. As Jake and Sarah secured the doors, Maya took a moment to catch her breath. They had made it, but they still weren't safe. "Let's go!" Maya shouted, her voice strong. "We're getting out of here!" With engines roaring to life, the Raven prepared for takeoff. Maya felt a rush of excitement and fear. They were on the brink of victory, but the fight was far from over. The Raven soared through space, leaving the rogue base far behind. Captain Maya Grant sat in the pilot's seat, her hands gripping the controls as she maneuvered the ship into a safe distance. The stars glittered outside the windows, a breathtaking view that contrasted sharply with the chaos they had just escaped. "Are we clear?" Sarah asked, her voice filled with tension as she glanced at the scanners. Maya nodded, feeling the rush of adrenaline begin to fade. "For now, yes, but we need to keep moving. They'll send ships after us." Jake, sitting at the control panel, was still monitoring their systems. "I disabled their launch sequence, but they'll be scrambling to find us. We should lay low until we're out of their range." Leo, the ever-calm pilot, turned to face the group. "I suggest we head to the nearest safe planet. We can regroup and come up with a new plan." Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Good idea, Leo. Let's head to Varath. It's remote and should provide us some cover." As they plotted a course for Varath, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they had just achieved a small victory in a much larger battle. They had saved the convoy, but the rogue faction was still out there, plotting their next move. "Captain," Jake said, breaking her thoughts, "I've been analyzing the data we gathered from the rogue base. They have a fleet that could cause major problems for us and the convoy. We need to alert the Galactic Council." "Do you think they'll listen to us?" Sarah asked skeptically. "After all, we're just a small crew." Maya leaned back in her seat, contemplating the situation. "We might be small, but we did something significant today. We showed them that humans can take action when others won't." "Yeah, but they don't trust us," Jake said, looking concerned. "They think we're reckless." "That may be true," Maya replied, determination creeping into her voice. "But we have to try. If we don't warn them, we risk the safety of everyone." Leo adjusted their course, heading toward Varath. "We'll get there soon. Once we land, we can send a message to the council." The journey felt long, but finally, the planet Varath came into view. Its surface was dotted with lush green forests and vast oceans. Maya felt a sense of peace wash over her as they descended, the tension of their recent escape slowly dissipating. As they landed in a secluded area, Maya took a deep breath. "All right, everyone, let's prepare to send that message. We need to make them understand the seriousness of the situation." They disembarked from the Raven and set up a communication device in a hidden spot among the trees. Jake worked quickly, connecting the equipment and establishing a secure line to the Galactic Council. Maya stood beside him, her heart racing. "Remember, we need to stress the urgency of the rogue faction's plans." Jake nodded, focused on his task. "I'll get their attention. Just give me a moment." Finally, the screen flickered to life and the face of a council member appeared. He looked stern, eyebrows furrowed. "This better be important. We have a lot on our plates." Maya stepped forward, her voice steady. "Counselor, this is Captain Maya Grant. We have urgent news about the rogue faction. They are planning an attack on the convoy and have a fleet ready to strike." The counselor's expression shifted, showing a hint of concern. "You're sure of this information?" "Absolutely," Maya replied, her conviction strong. "We were able to gather data from their base before escaping. They're preparing for a large-scale assault. We need your help to mobilize forces and stop them." There was a moment of silence as the counselor processed the information. "This is troubling news. However, we have been skeptical of human claims in the past." Maya felt frustration rising. "I understand, but this is not just a claim. We have evidence. If you act now, you can prevent a disaster." "Very well, Captain," the counselor finally said, his voice calmer. "We will take this matter seriously. I'll arrange for a meeting with the Defense Council. In the meantime, stay where you are until we send a ship to retrieve you." "Thank you, Counselor," Maya said, relief flooding her. As the communication ended, she turned to her team. "We did it! They're going to listen to us!" she exclaimed, her excitement bubbling over. Jake grinned, his earlier worries fading. "Now we just need to prepare for what comes next." As they gathered around, planning their next steps, Maya felt a new sense of hope. They were no longer just a small crew, they were a part of something bigger. "Together we can make a difference," Maya declared, determination shining in her eyes. "Let's prepare for whatever challenges lie ahead. We're ready to fight for our future." With their spirits high, the crew of the Raven stood united, knowing that they were not just fighting for themselves, but for the entire galaxy. Together, they would face whatever challenges came their way, filled with hope and courage.